When we want dairy products such as milk, butter, cheese, and ice cream, we go to the store and buy it from there. But have you ever thought of how it was made? For my senior project, I decided to learn more about what happens to raw milk for it to turn into the dairy products that we love. For my first step, I went to a local dairy farm, Jerry and Brenda Yeager, to find out what happens from the very beginning. They first start off as calves in little stalls by themselves to ensure their safety. They are fed milk from their mom right away and then they are given milk replacer. Eventually they will get water and grain. Once they get older, they are put into pens with other calves. Then they are old enough to go outside, and once they are close to 2 years old, they will have a calf and become a milk cow. The cow's day starts out as early as 4 a.m. with getting fed TMR, which stands for Total Mixed Rations. This can be different for every dairy and is special for the cows at this farm. They are then fed and get milked. Once they get milked, they are let out into a fenced-in lot where they get to walk around and get fed grain. While they are out there, the barn is getting cleaned and making sure that everything is ready for them to come back in. Once the barn is all clean, the cows will come in and take their spot. They are given TMR throughout the day to make sure they are happy. They are then milked again at 12 o'clock in the afternoon and 8 o'clock at night. After all the cows are milked, the raw milk will then go into what's called a bulk tank, and the milk truck driver will come to get it. The driver will take a sample of the milk to test later to ensure its safety and that there are no antibiotics.
Protein semantic cell for the pig, so. We got a dipper and then we put it in the container. Put too much milk in there. This is how we pump. That on the sidewall there's a milk pump.
Once the milk is loaded onto the milk truck, the driver will take it to whatever plant is needed, such as a dairy, cheese, or milk plant. Once the milk truck driver delivers the milk to the desired location, they will take a test from the truck to make sure everything is safe and that there are no harmful bacteria or antibiotics. They are also checking the temperature and fat percentages in this test. If the milk has any antibiotics or bacteria in it, they will have to dump the milk as it is not safe to drink. To find out more what local companies are doing, I decided to go to Utter Brothers Creamery located in Basketball, Wisconsin. The owner, Jason, informed me that both him and his brother send their milk to a company in Waukon, Iowa named WW Homestead. What you are seeing here is called a pasteurizer. All raw milk will get pasteurized. Pasteurizing is bringing the milk up to a certain temperature for a set period of time to kill harmful bacteria to make it safe to drink. WW Homestead is a business located in Waukon, Iowa. They produce milk, butter, ice cream, and cheese. The first step in making milk is to pasteurize it. Once it has been pasteurized, it is separated into cream and skim. After the cream and skim milk has been separated, It depends on what kind of milk they are making, and the right amount of whole milk and skim milk will be added back together. Once the correct amount of cream has been added back into the skim milk, it is then bottled by a machine and sent on a truck to take to a store. Another aspect I wanted to learn more about was cheese. For this, I was able to tour two local cheese plants, Dairy Food USA and Arena Cheese. Dairy Food USA gets big blocks of cheese that can come in 500 pounds or 640 pounds. The cheese will get grinded down into small pieces. Depending on the process, they will get melted down from anywhere to 165 degrees to 172 degrees Fahrenheit. They will then use the melted down cheese to fill cups like you are seeing here, or little wedges that they will use for retail sale. Before the cheese cups get sent out, they are sealed and then ran through an X-ray machine to make sure nothing bad is in them. Dairy Food USA also packages cheese in large log-type packages, and depending on the type of cheese, it is then smoked for the correct amount of time. This is the smoker that the cheese goes into. The smokers can be set for different types of cheese and depending on how long it can be cooked for and how hot it can get. There are multiple different steps that the smoker can take depending on the settings that you put in. The cheese is then taken to a cooler room. The purpose of the cooler room is for the cheese to slowly solidify. Most of the cheese you see here comes in long tubes for retailers, and the retailers will package it and send it off to the grocery stores. This is the storage room where all the cheese is waiting to be picked up and shipped off. At Arena Cheese, the very first steps of the milk getting off the truck is to take a test. This test will show the acidity, the temperature, and the fat content of the milk. After that, the milk is put into these vats where starter culture is added. They will also add colorant if needed. Once the starter culture is added, the cheese will sit for about a half an hour until it is solidified. While this is happening, big mixers will come through and mix the cheese throughout. Once the cheese has solidified enough, it is cut both directions to make them into the tiny little squares. Once the cheese has been cut, they drain the whey to put it somewhere else for good use. After that, they will then transfer the curds and wash and season them for packaging. Once the milk whey is drained from the cheese, it will then come in here. At this point, it has about 5% solids contained in it. During the whey process, the whey will go from 5% liquid solids to 20% liquid solids. The liquid that contains 20% of solids will then be shipped off to a company to make whey protein powder. The other liquid is very clean and can be used for anything, but they use it to send to the village so that way the village can use it in their sewer system. The products that you see here are just a few that are sold between the two cheese companies.